It started as an ordinary evening, December 3rd, 2022. 22-year-old Emily Carter had just finished her shift at a diner in Phoenix, Arizona. She was exhausted but excited to get home to her fiancé. It was only a 25-minute drive down the highway. She never made it. At 10:14 p.m., a trucker reported seeing Emily's car, a red Honda Civic, idling on the shoulder of Route 17 with its hazard lights blinking. No signs of an accident, no one inside, just abandoned. By morning, Emily was declared missing. But the case took a terrifying turn when a local news station aired a segment on roadside safety 2 days later, featuring none other than Officer Daniel Reeves of the Arizona State Patrol. Calm, authoritative, he warned drivers to stay inside their cars if they broke down. The safest place is always your vehicle. Never leave. Never accept help from a stranger. But as the segment aired, an anonymous tip came in. A woman claiming she'd been pulled over by an officer matching Reeves' description the very same night Emily disappeared. He told her to step out, to follow him down a deserted side road for questioning. She refused. But Emily? She might not have been so lucky. Investigators looked into Reeves' patrol logs. At first, it seemed airtight. He was logged at a traffic stop miles away. But forensic analysis of his vehicle told a different story. Strands of Emily's hair were found in the back seat of his squad car. A single pearl earring was discovered wedged between the seat cushions. When they searched his home, they found something even worse: a locked basement filled with women's clothing. Some items belonged to missing persons cases dating back over a decade. On December 10th, Reeves was arrested. His squad car's dash cam was pulled for evidence. What it revealed still haunts investigators to this day. At 10:20 p.m., a sobbing Emily is seen standing by the roadside as Reeves approaches. His voice is calm, reassuring. "Let me help you." He gestures toward his car. Then, the screen goes black. Reeves is now serving multiple life sentences, but Emily's fate was sealed that night. A chilling reminder that the monsters we fear might not hide in the dark. They wear a badge and smile. On March 9th, 2018, a seemingly ordinary home security camera captured what would later become the key to unraveling a chilling murder case. It started when 32-year-old Rachel Evans, a school teacher in Austin, Texas, failed to show up for work. Her colleagues assumed she had taken the day off, until her best friend, Lauren, grew concerned after multiple unanswered texts and calls. That evening, she decided to check on Rachel. What she found would haunt her forever. The front door was locked. No lights were on. But through the living room window, Lauren could see Rachel's dog, Bentley, pacing nervously. Sensing something was wrong, she called the police. When officers arrived and forced their way inside, they were met with a gruesome scene. Rachel's body lay in the hallway, a deep wound on her head, blood pooling beneath her. The house appeared ransacked, drawers overturned, furniture in disarray, as if someone had been searching for something. At first glance, it seemed like a burglary gone wrong. But investigators quickly realized that nothing valuable had been taken. Her laptop, phone, and even her jewelry were untouched. The only clue, a strange, muffled sound coming from the other side of the room. That's when they saw him. Charlie, Rachel's pet cockatoo, perched in his cage, visibly distressed. His feathers ruffled, his beady eyes wide. And then, as the officers stood in stunned silence, the bird let out a chilling phrase. "Don't. Stop. Please, no." The room went dead silent. The words were clear, urgent, and filled with terror. Charlie had been in the house when Rachel was attacked, and he had remembered every single word. Investigators immediately retrieved footage from Rachel's home security cameras. Unfortunately, the main living room camera had been disabled, likely by the perpetrator. But one camera, positioned near the backyard entrance, had recorded something crucial: a shadowy figure sneaking through the back door at 11:42 p.m. the night before. The footage was grainy, and the intruder's face wasn't visible. But forensic analysis revealed something even more damning: partial footprints on the kitchen tile and a single fingerprint on the back door handle. The prints matched someone already in the system: Nathan Cole, Rachel's ex-boyfriend. Nathan had a history of domestic disputes, and Rachel had filed a restraining order against him months prior after he became violent during an argument. He had denied any contact with her since their breakup. But Charlie, the unexpected witness, told a different story. Under pressure, Nathan finally confessed. He had broken into Rachel's home, intending to confront her one last time. When she threatened to call the police, he snapped. A struggle ensued, and in a moment of rage, he struck her with a blunt object, killing her instantly. In a panic, he staged the scene to make it look like a robbery. Charlie, however, had memorized every word of that fatal confrontation, and when he repeated Rachel's desperate pleas for mercy, he unknowingly provided the missing piece of the puzzle. On September 25, 2019, Nathan Cole was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The case remains one of the most unusual yet chilling examples of an animal inadvertently helping to solve a murder. Even today, when people pass by Rachel's old house, neighbors say they sometimes hear Charlie repeating the words that cracked the case. Don't. Stop. Please, no. On a cold February night in 2014, at precisely 3:47 a.m., the Evergreen Haven nursing home in Portland, Oregon, was suddenly engulfed in flames. The fire spread rapidly, consuming the eastern wing of the building, where over a dozen elderly residents slept. By the time firefighters arrived, the inferno had turned portions of the facility into an unrecognizable ruin. Emergency responders scrambled to evacuate the helpless patients, some of whom were bound to their beds due to debilitating conditions. Despite their best efforts, the fire claimed the lives of 9 residents, with several others suffering from severe smoke inhalation. The tragic event sent shockwaves through the community, as Evergreen Haven was known for its excellent care and dedicated staff. In the aftermath, as investigators sifted through the rubble, they noticed something unusual. An area near the storage room where the fire had originated appeared to have been tampered with. Charred remains of medical records were discovered, and the room's fire alarm had been manually disabled. The question loomed: was this an accident, or was something more sinister at play? News outlets quickly jumped on the story, eager to find a glimmer of hope amidst the devastation. Their focus soon turned to Lucas Reed, a nurse who had been on duty that night and had reportedly saved multiple residents before being forced out by the smoke. In an emotional interview, Lucas spoke about the horror of witnessing helpless individuals trapped behind flames, his voice shaking as he recounted the chaos. He described how he had attempted to retrieve vital medications and records from the storage room before being pushed back by the advancing fire. "I just did what I could," he told reporters, his face solemn. "The fire spread so fast. I tried to save as many as possible." His actions painted him as a selfless hero. But there was something off about his story, something that didn't add up. Forensic teams determined that the fire had not started due to an electrical fault, as initially suspected. Instead, accelerant residue was found near the storage room, confirming that the fire had been intentionally set. Security footage, though partially damaged by the fire, captured a shadowy figure entering the storage area shortly before the flames erupted. As authorities reviewed employee records, a disturbing pattern emerged. Over the past 6 months, Evergreen Haven had been losing large quantities of prescription medication, particularly high-demand opioids. The thefts had gone unnoticed until 2 weeks before the fire, when a senior staff member, Annette Dawson, had reported discrepancies in the medication logs. Further investigation revealed that Lucas Reed had been on duty during every reported instance of missing medication. When confronted, his story began to unravel. Under pressure, he confessed that he had been stealing and selling prescription drugs to fund a growing addiction. The day before the fire, he had learned that an internal audit was scheduled for the following morning, one that would undoubtedly expose his crimes. Faced with the impending investigation, Lucas made a desperate decision. He started the fire in the storage room, intending to destroy all records that could implicate him. What he hadn't anticipated was how quickly the flames would spread through the aging structure, turning his cover-up attempt into an unspeakable tragedy. Surveillance footage, witness testimonies, and forensic evidence sealed his fate. In his final act of deception, Lucas had even attempted to frame another nurse, planting a pair of singed gloves in her locker. But detectives saw through his scheme, and in 2015, he stood trial for arson and 9 counts of second-degree murder. The once-admired nurse, who had been hailed as a hero, was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The Evergreen Haven tragedy left a lasting wound on the community. Families of the victims mourned not only their lost loved ones, but also the betrayal of a caregiver they had trusted. The case serves as a haunting reminder that sometimes, even those who appear to be saving lives may be hiding dark secrets of their own. Though justice was served, the scars of that night remain, a chilling testament to how one man's desperation led to an irreversible catastrophe.